We're continuing with Halachot of Lashon Hara. Now today we'll speak about who may not speak Lashon Hara. I think last we spoke about the different ways one can violate Lashon Hara. So now it's who does this apply to? So first and foremost, obviously, one individual speaker. The Chafetz Chaim says very clearly, a single individual may not speak Lashon Hara. Even though it's just me to someone else, it's still considered Lashon Hara. It sounds self-explanatory, but the Chafetz Chaim felt the need to clearly outline that even if you're by yourself and you feel like no one will know, it's just one person, it's still considered Lashon Hara. Now, what about two or more speakers? Two people may certainly not speak Lashon Hara. As a matter of fact, Lashon Hara is more severe when relayed by more than one person, as listeners will naturally be more inclined to accept the Lashon Hara from multiple sources, and the subject will be more seriously degraded in their eyes. So this is a very important halakha that Chafetz Chaim brings, and he emphasizes that there are severities when it comes to Lashon Hara. It's not all or nothing. You can get worse and worse, ve'od yoter ra, not tov, but you get worse and worse by how you do it. And he says, if there's two people together as a unit coming to say something negative or saying Lashon Hara, that's more severe than one. Why? Because I would believe two people saying something more than I would believe one. So he says the more believable and the more severe it is, the worse it is for the speakers of that negative and derogatory information. And now the commentators explain something fascinating. Even if it's one guy talking and the second guy is his Robin, Batman's doing the talking, Robin just standing there nodding his head and reaffirming and Chafetz Chaim says that guy, number two, Robin, he is also getting the isur of speaking Lashon Hara because he's verifying and giving credit to the guy speaking. So even though if party B, if the guy number two didn't actually say anything but accompanied the guy who was speaking and reaffirmed it, and his body language sort of gave extra emphasis to it, he's also a very isur of Lashon Hara, and the Chafetz Chaim says, and the Achronim say, that he must do teshuvah as well. Now, number three is the head of the household. Obviously, it goes without saying that the father or the figure in the home that is the head of the household, he sets the tone of the house. One must be very careful that his household members never hear him speak derogatory, forbidden speech, or he will be unable to rebuke them later about such speech. One who is very careful regarding this will benefit both in this world and in the next. It sounds obvious, but it's obviously very difficult, especially in our generation. The advice I got from Rav Dermoni once is beautiful and it's profound, and it's so simple, but yet so powerful, is in our house, we don't speak about other people. That way, good or bad, we don't want to talk about other people. We speak about ideas, speak Torah, we speak mitzvot, we speak chesed, but don't talk about another person. That was what Rav Dermoni, based on this halakha, told me many years ago, and it's a beautiful idea. If we can implement it in our homes as well, it'll be very powerful. And in our homes, we don't speak about other people, period. Good or bad, that way we don't even come close to Lashon Hara. That's one way that head of household can set the example. And lastly, children also must refrain from speaking Lashon Hara as well. If a person observes his young daughter or son speaking Lashon Hara, he has a mitzvah to rebuke the child strongly and stop him from sinning. As it states in Mishleh, Chanuch lenar al pi darko, train a child according to his path. Now, in truth, a lot of this battle, Shmat HaLashon, the Gaon of Vilna says, can be won or lost when they're children in the young age, because when they're in their pre-teens and even younger, that's when they get accustomed to all these things. So if we set an example while they're young, says the Gra, we have a very big success rate to help curb it when they get older. And lastly, obviously, if a child needs to speak about something that's bothering him, a parent must listen and help the child work through his issues while not believing the information as fact. Unless it's verified, we'll talk about that later on. When the child is old enough to understand, one should carefully teach him Halachot Lashon Hara and train him to be selective of what he discloses. Much thought and consideration must go into this in process, which obviously depends on the situation as well. But it doesn't mean now if our kid complains to us, we have to run away. No, we have to give them time of day, attention and love, but we have to also understand when they get older and they mature, we shouldn't believe what they're saying, but eventually we have to teach them not to speak negatively and what to say, what not to say. Chazak Baruch and Shabbat Shalom.